Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Garok here, your casual gaming dad, coming at you guys with another Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker job review video. In fact, I think I should probably call this a job review video, because we are covering, as you can see, none other than the sword and board wielding holy warrior, the Paladin. In the wake of the big 6.3 rework, I've decided to do a review on what I've experienced so far. A couple of disclaimers here. First off, as you know, even though I am a tank role main, I am not a Paladin main. Paladin, actually, up until Endwalker, has been generally my least favorite tank to play, so I don't have as much experience on it as some others would. And you all know I'm a warrior simp anyway, so it is what it is. But of course, they reworked Paladin. They changed a lot of things about Paladin to fit more into the 2-minute meta. And I'm just going to go over real quick what those changes are. As always, I'm going to leave a link in the description down below with the full patch notes. So if you want to actually read what the Paladin updates were for yourself, you may. But let me just jump right in, because I am technically in queue as Paladin, so I can get some more experience on it. So yeah, it's 21-minute queue, 24-minute queue. I should have enough time to get this video out. So first of all, to start the video off, if you guys remember from my previous review video, I described Paladin as a tank that had technically 2 burst phases, right? It revolved around a physical burst phase with fight or flight, which is what you would open up with. You'd do your Goring Blade combo, and then you'd go into Royal Authority, which would then grant you stacks for Atonement. You use Atonement, your GCDs, your Intervenes, etc., etc. And then they had their magical / ranged burst phase, where you would use Requiescat, or Rec for short, and it would used to grant you 5 stacks of Requiescat, where you would get insta-casts, Holy Spirits or Holy Circles for for free, no cast time, etc., etc. And you would basically do 4 Holy Spirits, and then you would cast Confiteor, which would then bleed into your reigning swords, Blade of Faith, Blade of Truth, Blade of Valor, etc., etc. And that's it's kind of still similar, but not, because now everything fits within the 2-minute meta. The 2-minute meta is basically all of the big raid cooldowns that happen. So like Battle Litany, Brotherhood, I forget what it's called for ninjas now. It used to be Trick Attack, now I think it's Armor Crush, stuff like that. It all happens basically every 2 minutes. The big buffs that happen every 2 minutes. You will have a burst cycle. Now, Warrior has it, Gunbreaker has it, Dark Knight has it, but Paladin was a little janky, because they'd be like, oh, do I do my physical burst now and then just do my magical during the 2-minute, or do I save them and then do both? Which one do I do? What do I do? And now they've kind of taken some of that jank out, because they've done some changes. So first of all, there's 2 really big changes that need to be covered that have the biggest impact, and the first one is Goring Blade. Paladin is now a 1-2-3 warrior. They only have 1 combo: Fast Blade, Riot Blade, Royal Authority. Goring Blade is now an instant 59-second recast, just does damage, potency is 700. It is not off the global cooldown. It does trigger the GCD, but you don't have to combo it up, and it also does not apply a bleed anymore, which is a friggin' shame, but is what it is. The other thing is fight or flight. It used to only increase physical damage dealt every 60 seconds. Now, I have a cat trying to eat my biscuits here. Now it increases all damage dealt by 25%. So that means your opener in your burst phase is now going to be a little different, because if you notice, Requiescat deals damage, potency of 300. It grants 4, not 5 stacks of Rec, and it increases the potency of Holy Spirit, Holy Circle, and all Confiteor combo actions and spells. Will require no cast time. Grants Confiteor ready, duration 30 seconds, kind of the same, but it operates a little different. So those are the 3 biggest changes. In addition, since now we only have Royal Blade or Royal Authority, sorry, you're probably wondering well, what the hell, like, what do we do about, you know, Holy Spirit or Holy Circle? Are they worthless now? Like, what do we use? Well, let's see, where is it? Where is it? I think it's just automatic. So Royal Authority, or if you're using your AoE combo, Prominence, will grant you a buff called Divine Might, which allows you to instacast Holy Spirit or Holy Circle with increased potency. It lasts for 30 seconds. Depending on if you're AoEing or single targeting, will depend on what you do. Another big change, or not big, but another change that they gave us is Sheltron / Holy Sheltron is now just damage reduction. Reduces damage taken by 15%. Huge. Absolutely huge. I think that is a good change. I think that was awesome. I'm still kind of miffed. It costs 50 gauge. I kind of wish they would knock it down to 25 so you could get 4 uses out of a full gauge, but that's just me. Maybe it would be OP. I don't know. I'm not a Paladin main, so I'm just going on my own personal preference here. And then they give us Bulwark. Now, for those of you who are not aware of what Bulwark is, Bulwark used to be a cooldown that Paladin had. And then when they gave us Sheltron, they got rid of Bulwark. They were like, you don't need this anymore. Because Sheltron did all the blocking. So we kind of lost a cooldown. Now, since they've decided to change Sheltron to just be damage reduction, we get Bulwark back. So now we, for 10 seconds, will block incoming attacks. It's fantastic. I love having this back. You can pair these up, Holy Sheltron and Bulwark, and it's a great combo. Besides that, there's been some potency changes. I'm not going to go over the potency changes because a lot of things got toned down. Some things, I think all of these, like Blade of Faith, Blade of Truth, Blade of Valor, all lost their dot. So there's no dots. You have no damage over times. But I'm not going to go over all of the potency changes. That would just be too much, and I've only got like 10 minutes left in my queue. So I'm just going to run down real quick what the new quote-unquote rotation looks like. Opener / burst rotation. And you guys can judge for yourself. Before I do that, though, I do want to say, like, my overall thoughts on the Paladin rework. I don't think it's so much of a rework as just realigning their burst phase to match up with the current 2-minute meta. Because if it was a rework, they'd get rid of this fucking skill. Shield Bash needs to go. It's got no use. It's useless. And cover would have been redesigned. Because right now, cover, I never see it used unless it's in PvP. It costs 50 gauge, and you just take damage instead of someone that you target. And I mean, I just feel like, other than niche instances, there's no need for it. You know what I mean? I don't even have it on my bars. I never use it. I mean, not that I play Paladin much, but I never use it. Oh, one other big change. Before I go into this and finish it off with like a real quick demonstration of damage, Divine Veil is now basically Shake It Off. Creates a barrier around self and all party members near you that absorbs damage equivalent to 10% of your maximum HP for 30 seconds, and gives you a hot of a cure potency of 400. Or not a hot, just a straight up cure of 400 potency. So that's pretty good. I mean, check it out. I don't even need to target anything, just boom. So no more of like putting it on and then casting Clemency to like trigger it. It just does it. It's great. I think that's a good change. I think that's pretty cool. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So let's just dive into the nitty gritty. So what does the new Paladin rotation look like? So for your opener, I mean, if you want to open up your shield lob, you can. Most people, if I'm not mistaken, you open up with Holy Spirit. And then you're going to do Fast Blade. You're going to Riot. You're going to do Fight or Flight and Wreck. You're going to do that, Goring Blade. Boom. Right? And then you're going to do Confiteor. You're going to do your swords. You're going to do more swords. You're going to do more swords. And then you're going to do Holy Spirit. And then you finish off with your Thomas. Now, if I hadn't paused there a little bit, I would have been able to hit Holy Spirit into the fight or flight window, which is the ultimate goal. But you can see Goring Blade is now no longer part of your main combo. And you can see there when I used Royal Authority, I'll show you guys again. So you do your 1, your 2, and your 3, so now we get both Sword Oath and this Divine Might. So Holy Circle or Holy Spirit. Instacast. So it's kind of now more part of our regular rotation. And now you can see all my stuff is up, so now you'd go back into your burst, you do the same thing you do like fast. Riot, Fight or Flight and Wreck, boom, Goring Blade, OGCDs, boom, and then you would just Confiteor, and you would Sword. And you want to make sure you don't try to use your atonements, because then you'll end up breaking your Confiteor combo, and that's no bueno. And the idea is to fit all of that mess, your Confiteor, your Raining of the Swords, your Gap Closers, your Goring Blade, and your Holy Spirit into your Fight or Flight window, because it's all going to get beefed up by 25%. And there you go. There it is, in a nutshell. That is the new Paladin. Again, some quality of life things that are nice, like Holy Sheltron just straight up being damage reduction. Very nice. Divine Veil, basically being Shake It Off. Very nice. Fight or Flight just being flat damage reduction. Also nice. The new Requiescat is kinda meh. It's kinda eh. But I mean, it just gives me a reason to spam swords. So I mean, I'm not gonna complain. The fact that Paladin is now just a 1-2-3 tank, Fast Blade, Riot Blade into Royal Authority is kind of a bummer, because now that means only Warrior is the only tank with a combo that does like 1-2-4 and then 1-2-3, 1-2-3, 1-2-4. Goring Blade just being damage is fine. I feel like even if they took it out of the combo rotation, if they had left it as a dot, that would have been really cool. Or if they had taken away the dot and made it an OGCD. As it is now, it feels a little janky, like it fits into the window, it fits into the burst. But I also feel like it could be easily forgettable, like if you're not used to that rotation. You know what I mean? Like it took me a couple of rounds of practicing this opener / burst rotation to be like, okay, yeah, I can't forget my Goring Blade, because now it's just like, you don't have to monitor a dot, so it's nice, but at the same time, it's like, it kind of changed things up a little bit, and now it's just like, damn, I feel like they gave it Monk, you know, like back in Shadowbringers, they gave Monk's Tornado Kick the just damage treatment. They were like, well, no one uses this skill because it sucks, so we're just gonna make it damage. But they made it OGCD damage, so you could just weave it in with everything. I feel like Goring Blade would have benefited more if they're gonna get rid of the dot and the combo potent, you know, part of it. Make it OGCD. Don't just make it a GCD attack. I feel that makes it feel a little janky, but at the same time it feels smooth. It's hard to explain, but you just saw it. Like a little bit of practice, you'll get it. Is this rework a full-on rework? No. It's not a rework, it's just altering their abilities to fit into the meta, adjusting some potencies, which I feel like even though they lowered some potencies, I think overall it ends up equalizing out. Some of you players out there that main Paladin and prefer to play Paladin over the other tanks, please feel free to correct me on that. If, you know, I haven't done all of the testing in the world, so I don't know for sure. And I mean, as you can see, I don't have great weapons. I'm still using the 560 shit, so feel free to definitely correct me on the amount of damage done, but it feels to me like the damage is unchanged overall, even though they reduced the potency of like your Confiteor sword combos. I feel like with changing Fight or Flight to just straight out damage and Goring Blade having 700 potency, I think that kind of equals out a little bit. And I do like how they made Royal Authority give us Divine Might, which allows us to weave in Holy Spirit or Holy Circle. I think that promotes more use of magic or magical-ish attacks, and I think that's pretty nice. I think that's a unique way of weaving those in for Paladin to use more than just within the rec window. But if they want to call this a full-on rework, they got to do something about some of these abilities. They got to get rid of Shield Bash. Give us something else. It's useless. And for the love of God, redesign cover. Make it useful outside of niche instances when someone's going to need you to soak up damage for them. You know what I mean? Like, there's just no real reason, you know? Intervention, I would argue, Intervention could also stand to be redesigned a little bit, but I feel like if you're off tanking as a paladin, this would come in a lot more action. But again, like I said, feel free to correct me on that because I don't play paladin as seriously as I do like warrior. So those are my thoughts. That's the quick and dirty rundown of the Paladin rework. This has been my Paladin review, so to speak. And if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, anything you want to mention down in, feel free to leave it down in the description down below. Not description, in the comment section. Leave it down in the comment section down below. Man, I'm tired. If you like this video, hit that thumbs up button and feel free to please subscribe to my channel. Help me grow, help me get bigger. It'll let you know every time I post up a new video, whenever I get the chance. And once I finally get to a position of being able to stream again, you'll get notifications when I go live, and that'll be great. That'll be great for everybody. Everyone will be happy. So thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I appreciate it, and I will see you all in the next video.